What's up, everybody? Welcome to Buzzworthy TV, and I'm your girl, Lady T. And tonight we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all. So let's get into it. Okay, the episode starts off with Phaedra going to Portia's house. You know, they're just having a little girl time. And let me say one thing I did like about this scene. I like that it didn't seem staged at all. The whole conversation just seemed like two real good friends just shooting the breeze, and I like that. They were talking about, of course, how Cynthia invited Phaedra to talk about what happened when they were all together, and how she wanted to apologize for bringing up Mr. Chocolate in front of everybody. But she really didn't apologize. She actually came at Phaedra kind of confrontational like. So anyway, Phaedra was telling Portia about what was going on. And it was so funny because, like Phaedra said, she said, don't nobody bring up, any of Cynthia's dirt. And Portia was like, wait a minute. Cynthia and Peter got dirt? She was like, I know about Peter's dirt, but everybody know about him. And they was talking about like, hey, that's probably why it ain't really made the blogs or social media, because it's like when your wife knows what's going on, it ain't really a big deal. And I'm like, wow, is he really that scandalous and she just let him do his dirt? If that's so, that's just like, wow, you really can't comment on nobody's marriage. I mean, get it how you live if that's the agreement that y'all got. Like, he can do whatever he want as long as he don't disrespect the house. Some people got that arrangement, but I'm just like, what? And I'm with Phaedra too. Like she was saying in the confessional, she never had a problem with Cynthia. So she don't understand why Cynthia, is bringing up stuff that's going to cause conflict and starting all this mess with her. Like, she don't understand why she bringing all this drama. And I get it. It's like, Cynthia, stop trying to fish for a freaking storyline and have several seats. Because what you did, what you've been doing for the past few weeks has been beyond messy. And that was not right. And I'm not like Team Phaedra or nothing like that. But it's just like, clearly, she is going through something. Like I said, I'm not Team Phaedra, but I do sympathize her position as a wife and a mother. So, and like she was telling Portia, she came to that dinner less than 24 hours after Apollo had reported to prison. And before that, he was acting crazy. And like she said, she was on the run. She was staying at different hotels and her and Apollo was going at it and whatnot. So she didn't need that. And like I said, I'm not no Team Phaedra, but you could have brought that at another time or another place. Or if it was really on your heart to say something, you could have put it to the side and let the chips fall where they may. But to bring it out in front of everybody, that was just not cool. So I agree with what they both were saying. And then we got Kandi and Todd. Kandi was looking at a picture of, I believe, her grandfather. He was a bishop and he left a legacy. And she was like, babe, this is what I think we could be about. We could leave a legacy behind. She was like, my problem is that I think on the business front, we doing good. It's just not on the personal front. And he was like, yeah, I agree with that. She was like, well, with that being said, let's do some homework. So they started this homework that Dr. Sherry had gave them about listening to pros and cons of being married. And when I tell y'all, this was painful to watch because they were really struggling to find pros to their marriage, especially Todd. And I'm just like, wow. Your marriage has dissipated. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Dissipated, whatever. Anyway, I ain't even gonna try to say that. Your marriage has disintegrated that bad within these 6 months that y'all can't even think of the pros of y'all marriage or why y'all even why you got me in the first place. That's sad. And I know a lot of it comes from Kandi's standpoint. A lot of it comes from Todd not really wanting to talk. He's kind of being standoffish, which makes their sex life, not be what it used to be. And, we already know what Todd's thing is. She won't always have her way. Her mama always in their business. She let her employees and her friends say whatever they want to say pertaining to him. So all that is making him kind of distant, and he just not feeling it. He not feeling none of this. He not really feeling her. He not really feeling the marriage counseling. It's just like Todd could really take it or leave it. And it's sad because I really want them to work. I really think that they are a great couple who love each other. They just need to cut some people out of their life. You know how sometimes people can be like a cancer in your relationship? That's what I think is happening. And the majority of the cancers lie with Kandi's side. So she needs to remove a lot of people. She needs to get Don Juan and Carmen unchecked, and she need to go ahead and get her mom a check and remove all the toxins in their relationship so they can get back to where they used to be. Because they really do love each other. It's just all the other bullshit that don't nobody want to deal with. I ain't even gonna say just Todd. Wouldn't nobody want to deal with this. It's just too much going on. It make anybody feel like, you know what? If we work it out, we work it out. If we don't, we don't. Anyway, then we got Claudia and her friend Gary. Now, Gary works with her on the Ricky Smiley show, and they're talking about her doing comedy. She was saying, during her time when she was going through depression, I didn't know, I remember her from The Price is Right and Deal or No Deal, but I didn't know that it was this big controversy where she lost her career in television. But however the case, she was saying that, her marriage fell apart, she lost her career in television, and comedy really helped her snap out of her depression. And she really wants to try stand-up comedy. And she was saying that, she really wished that she could let loose on the Ricky Smiley show because she really feels kind of caged. She has to be the straight person. She really just wants to let it rip and just be herself and be funny. And Gary tells her, look, there's one comedian on the show, and that's Ricky Smiley, and you cannot step on his toes. Play your position. And he telling her right, because you don't want to step on his toes, because he's the boss, and he will get rid of you. So he telling her to play her position, and find another outlet somewhere else if you want to do comedy, but don't try to be all funny and step on Ricky Smiley's shoes, because that's his position. He the comic, that's his place on the show. You can't just go in there and start wrecking the flow. You do what you paid for. So she takes his advice and was like, yeah, you're right. So I'm going to find a situation where I can do, a set. She said just a couple of minutes where she can just, see what she made of. And what I do like about Claudia, she's not afraid to try any and everything. Like she says, if she bombs, or even if she does well, regardless of the outcome, she has another story to tell about her life. And I love that. Okay, then we got Nene and Phaedra. Nene has came to Phaedra's house. Nene came to check on her because they hadn't seen each other since everybody was together, and she was about to knock Kenya in the head with her purse. So they sitting down there talking, and Nene asks her, is she okay? And she's like, girl, I've been going through it. And she basically tells her that it's been a lot, but she's getting through it. And she just tells Nene that she really appreciates her being there and supporting her, checking in on her. And she starts to cry because she was like, out of everybody in the group, you've been the most supportive. And I really would have thought Kandi would have been, the most supportive because of our history. And I've been there for Kandi. And Nene asked her, like, what do you think is the problem? She was like, you know what? I really don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the issue is with this disconnect that I have with her. And I just feel bad because if anybody has ever followed Kandi and Nene on sorry about to say Kandi and Nene, Kandi and Phaedra on social media, you will see that they had a genuine friendship. And I just hate when I see like situations drive a wedge between relationships. I'm not talking about just romantic relationships. I'm talking about friendships and all that. And I hate that. And then you add the stress of reality TV where everybody on social media can put their 2 cents in on whose fault is it or what y'all should did about y'all issues. It's a lot. And I feel bad because, you know, it's a lot. They both going through so much. Not just with the disconnect with their friendship, but, you know, Phaedra's going through it with Apollo going to jail. Kandi's going through it with her play being canceled. Her and Todd is not in the best of place. So, it's a lot. And when you already had that going on in real life, and then, like I said, then you got the stress of reality TV, it's so stressful. And I really hope that they're able to work it out because they had a genuine friendship. And I hate to see relationships torn apart like that, especially with something that can really be worked out. So anyway, then we got Claudia. She's meeting up with Lunel. You know, Lunel is this hilarious comic. And she just wants to meet up with Lunel to get some pointers and get her advice on this whole stand-up comedy thing. So Lunel tells her that she thinks it'll be a good look. But she warns her that, hey, it's not as easy as it looks. And just be prepared. Be strong. Be fearless. And just go for what you know. And, you know, Claudia takes that into consideration. You know, basically, she's ready to go. She's going to do this whole stand-up comedy thing and let it rip. Like she said, even if she succeed or fail, this is just one more story that she can add into her book of life. And like I said, I love that attitude. So anyway, Kandi is doing what I would do. You know, she heard from Nene and other people in the group that supposedly Phaedra feels like they having some type of issues. So instead of discussing her issues or any, you know, pending issues that she may have, she's going to go to the source. And she went to Phaedra's office. So they sit down, you know. They had a little hug, compliment each other, how good they look, yada, yada, yada. So, after that, Kandi sits down and they get right to it. She says, you know, here's my thing. My thing is, I'm hearing from Nene and Portia that you feel like I wasn't there for you. And why do I gotta hear this of Nene of all people? Like, I thought we was better than that. And Phaedra was, you know, she said, I really wasn't talking about you. She just kind of sensed that there was a disconnect. And, you know, just asked me, was I okay? And what I thought happened. And, you know, Kandi was like, well, I was not trying to be there for you. I'm, you know, going through my own thing. Me and Todd, we not in the best place. You know, right after that dinner that I had with y'all, I had to go tell all the people who was involved in the Mother's Love that the show was canceled. And I felt some type of way about that because, yeah, I'm okay. But these people quit their jobs and things of that nature. And I just hate that all these people who counted on me, they out of work now. And, you know, she started crying or whatever. And I felt bad for Kandi because Kandi was coming at her genuinely. And I think Phaedra was a little receptive to what Kandi was going through. But she really wasn't all the way here for it. And I can tell, and she confirmed it in her confessional when she was like, so, you're upset about a bad business move. But I can't sleep at night. basically because of what's going on with me. She was like, if money can make me sleep at night, I'll be fine because money is not my issue. And I understand. I see what you're saying. But you can't compare apples and oranges. No one's saying, like she told you, I know your problem was much bigger, but I was going through something too. Kandi acknowledged that. And everybody acknowledges that, yes, you were going through something much deeper. But you also have to acknowledge that what she's going through ain't just no petty bullshit. And, and that's not the reason why she wasn't there. You acting like, oh, she stumped her toe, and that's why she wasn't there for you. No, she was going through her own shit. Not as deep as yours, but just as important to her. So she was not trying to be there for you, but you got to give her, you got to understand where she coming from, that she wasn't in a really good place either. You got to understand where she's coming from, just as well as she has to understand where you're coming from. That's all. Y'all need better communication right now. I think a lot of this is, hold on. Ooh, give me 1 second. Ooh, shaking. Okay. A lot of this is coming from a lack of communication on both ends, particularly Phaedra. So anyway, y'all, we get to this counseling session with Dr. Jeff. And let me tell y'all, it's a hot mess. So Nene and Kandi are the first ones there. And, Nene is waiting on the other people to come. And she's like, the clock is ticking. She already get agitated because they're a few minutes late. And when I tell y'all, we see Claudia, Kenya, and Cynthia come in and they strutting in. I was like they on the runway. I was like, heck no. So anyway, they all sit down because in the midst of this, Portia done come in too. So everybody's there. And the first person to talk about their issues is Kenya. Kenya's whole thing is she wants to know why 1 minute when they had sat down and talked, again, and this is funny because what she was bringing up is a situation where Nene again wanted everybody to get together. She was like, when we had all got together one time, this is actually when I think Nene wanted, it was Nene, Kenya, Portia, and Phaedra. And Cynthia. Yes, something like that. However the case, it was about a few episodes back where they all got together because Nene was like, we just gonna have the people who had the biggest issues together. Anyway, that situation. She was like, we were all sitting down there talking. We all squashed our beefs, decided that we were gonna move on. And I thought we were at a good place. But the next time we at Kandi's house, you throwing me shade. And I want to know what happened between that and the moment we got to Kandi's house. What was up with, the bipolar behavior? Well, actually, no, she didn't say bipolar behavior. She just said what was up with that. And Nene. Now, Nene, let me get at you for a minute. I was there for you. Like, I actually have been, for the past couple of episodes, Team Nene. Because I felt like she really wasn't there to start no drama. She was just trying to be cool, calm, and collected. And I give a person credit where credit is due. So she wasn't really starting that. But Nene, this whole talking over people, this not taking responsibility, girl, you done took like 1,000 steps back, okay? And I'm sick of it. So she tells Kenya, like, you know how I am, and I clearly know how you are. And I'm just like, you not answering her question. You not acknowledging her feelings, and you're not answering her why you had that change of behavior. And I was just like, really? So after she blows her off, Claudia basically has the same issue. She was like, when I first met you, and you were introduced, we were introduced, you were like, oh, I met her already, and kept it moving. She was like, I wanted to know what was up with that because I never did anything to you. We never had words. So what was up with that? And she was like, look, child, every new person that comes into this group be trying to come for me. And I was like, Nene, ain't nobody trying to come for you. That's the problem. Like, you always feel like somebody attacking you. And the reason why you feel like that is because you don't want to acknowledge what your part in these situations are. You never want to acknowledge. And then, therefore, you feel like you're attacked. If you just acknowledge your part in situations, then maybe people could really move on and you wouldn't feel like you're attacked. And maybe if you wouldn't be so flip-floppy, that'll also cut down a lot of confusion. Because 2 instances with Kenya and Claudia, that was their issue. Their issue was like, hey, 1 minute we cool, 1 minute we not. And a lot of times, these meetings and these come to Jesus meetings are initiated by you. So 1 minute you want us to be cool to the point where you call us all together. And we cool, we drinking, we having fun. And the next time you want to like giving people the hand and throwing shade. I'm like Claudia and Kenya. What's up with the bipolar behavior? Like, you wrong. You all the way wrong. And until you can acknowledge it, you always gonna feel like you were attacked. And so then we get to Cynthia, and she talks about how her problem with Nene is that it stemmed from the Kenya's masquerade ball, and how she didn't like her behavior, and they were never really able to talk about that because she says that every time she tries to talk to Nene, that Nene don't try to hear her. She tries to like shut her down, overtalk her. And that is the thing. The thing about Nene is if you don't agree with her, then it's a problem. It's like either you with her or you against her. And that's what Cynthia was trying to convey. She was trying to say, hey, I had a problem with how you treated the situation, how you called my husband a bitch. But I couldn't express that to you because I didn't want you to go all on 10. And that's why it took me so long. While I do agree with what Nene has said in the past about, hey, we're friends, outside of any of this whole reality TV shit, we're friends. So you should have called me as a friend and told me, hey, I'm still feeling some type of way. I get that 1,000%. But you got to understand that you're not easy to talk to because as soon as somebody says something you don't like, you want to start yelling or be like, girl, bye and leave or not want to talk to nobody. And she was afraid of that because she did value your friendship. And once she was finally able to speak, everything she said became true. Then you start talking about how she's not relevant on the show and how she's this and how she's that. So everything that she was afraid was going to happen when she didn't initially speak to you about how she felt, about how you behaved and how you called Peter a bitch is exactly what happened. So you proved it right, Nene. Congratulations. So that's what her problem was. And Kandi is like this. She's like, my problem is you and Cynthia were friends. Y'all were ace boon coons. And as soon as you felt some type of way, you just threw her to the wolves. And is that how you do everybody? And that's what Kandi had told Phaedra too when they were talking. Because after they kind of squashed their little, I ain't going to say squash, but after they kind of came to understanding with their issues, she was telling her that, hey, this thing with Nene, are you sure? And Phaedra was like, yeah, people can change. And Kandi is like this. Look, if that's what you believe, okay, I ain't gonna debate you on that. But you know how she is. She cool, she in your corner 1 minute. But as soon as you do something she don't like, it's mad day. And Kandi classifies mad day as you say something she don't like, she gonna, throw you to the wolves. And I agree with that because Cynthia's experiencing that. And I think that's probably the reason why Kandi has a problem with Nene. It's not like she don't like her. It's not like they can't have a good time, but she does not trust her because she's seen her in action and she just don't want Phaedra to get hurt. While I do think that, hey, Kandi, you already done put it out there. You You said your piece about how Nene can be. Let it be, because you don't want to get caught up into, well, you said this about, you said this about Nene and this and that, because then you're going to be caught up in a whole nother drama where Nene going to start attacking you like, oh, so you talking about me behind my back and this and that. What you mean? Mean day. What's all this about mean day? So yeah, girl, let that go. You said your piece. Let it go. But anyway, back to the therapy session. So she asked Nene, is that how you do people? Do you just, when people don't agree with you, do you just throw people away? Well, Nene takes offense to this and gets up. And everybody's like, where are you going? Dr. Jeff starts running behind her, and she's getting ready to go in the elevator. She's like, nah, y'all, you can have this, because it seems like it's team, it's team up on Nene Day. And he was like, no, that's not it. We're going to address this head on. I had already told you I'm treating everybody the same. And she was like, look, I don't got time. Everybody want to attack me. And this goes back to what I was saying, Nene. No one is trying to attack you. If you just accept responsibility and y'all can have a grown woman conversation without you talking over people, without you just deflecting and not taking responsibility in your actions and your part in these situations, then you wouldn't feel attacked. Then y'all can move on, and then maybe we can find some type of peace. Well, anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Until next time, peace and love.